So from Big Brother Watchers' point of view, we were very much behind the government's original proposal of active choice, which would have been an opt-out internet filters which we already had rather than an opt-in system. And it's not just pornography that we're talking about here, we're talking about adult content generally. So sexual health websites, for instance, this all falls into this blocking system. So for us, the active choice gave parents a lot more control about parenting and about what their children can and can't see, rather than the opt-in system which we're seeing now, which kind of puts that more into the hands of the government.
Yes, well, I think we're always chary of putting things into the hands of the government. However, what I would say is the government is only representative of the state, which is only representative of the society that we are. At a very, very basic level, we are a society that involves children, involves adults, involves people who are pro-porn and people who are anti-porn. So an opt-in system at a very basic level reflects other things that we're all agreed on should be for adults: alcohol, cigarettes, porn. So an opt-in system at its very, very basic level simply says we're the kind of society that agrees that some things are for consenting adults, some choices are for consenting adults, and that as a society we should all think about children and not have a free-for-all in which children are marketed to, or whatever it is, because in this country we're actually not at the moment a society that thinks a lot about what things are like for everybody. We're very much an individualist society that tends to believe that an adult's free choice should always come first.
I think the point that I'm making here rather is that actually I think the parenting should be left to parents, because they know what kind of culture they want their children to grow up in and the sort of things they want them to be exposed to, and they're, what I feel, a much better place to make that decision rather than the government. And yes, I agree that the government can do something like giving these companies a kick to say, actually, when people sign up to the internet or mobile phones, you should probably ask them whether that's going to be for a child or whether they're going to be accessing it and things. But they shouldn't be making that decision on behalf of parents.
What do you think the difference, the material difference is between opting in and opting out? Why do you feel that one will involve and educate parents while the other won't involve and educate parents?
Because I feel like the opt-in is much more of a blanket, this is the bar that we're going to set for parents, whereas with the opt-out system they can look at the different companies that are out there, look at the way that they can provide the tools, like I've said about like the rating system.
So it's a neoliberal argument, it's a sort of free market choice.
No, it's not an ideological choice.
Well, it must be, because it's about individualism, isn't it? It's about rolling back the state, not having the state involved because the state's bad, having individual choice. Choosing between a range of...
I think, well, exactly. I think that's...
Yes, well, if you don't think it's a bad thing, just agree with me that yes, it is a neoliberal...
But I'm not making it from an ideological standpoint. That's not where I'm personally coming from. Where I'm coming from is from the evidential...
where you're personally coming from. It just happens to be an argument that chimes with neoliberal ideology and liberal ideology.
Okay, that's fine, and that's not something that I don't think should necessarily be ashamed of. But I think that from the parental surveys that have taken place and the 2 reports that were acknowledged as being the government and the best way forward, that has shown that parents themselves should be allowed to get on and parent, and that's what they want.
Are you a parent?
No, I'm not a parent.
See, I am a parent and I didn't take part in that survey, so I don't think it represents all parents at all.
I don't think, but so neither does the opt-in filtering. That doesn't represent society as a whole. And so actually, with one, it's giving parents a lot more opportunity to look into what they want their children to be able to see.
What would stop parents from having opportunity?
Because this is a much more single level filter.
No, I mean, why?
In terms of pornography and adult content, from my perspective and Big Brother Watchers' perspective, this is all about giving parents the right to have control about what their children see online, educating them and giving them the tools available to make that active decision rather than the government making that for them.
And my point is that as a society, we should recognise that all children and all adults have a different level of need and a different level of right and a different level at which they need to be protected, and that in certain respects what we should be looking for is a societal consensus over what is good for children and therefore as for society as a whole.